Greg Hennis, and welcome to Plowmans Windows and Doors. We are here at 118 East Vine Street in the heart of Millville, and we are joined by Joe Plowman and Carol Plowman. And Joe, somebody told me, actually you and Carol were telling me, 40 years Plowmans Windows and Doors. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's actually been a little bit over 40, but 40 years in our own business.
Over the years, I know the thing you've always strived for is top quality installations, top quality products, and standing behind, along with the manufacturers, what you do.
That's the most important. When you buy a window, you put it in your home. You don't want to have a window in your home for 2 or 3 years and have a problem and nobody comes out and takes care of it. We come out, we'll do any type of repairs that's needed on the windows. Manufacturers supply free parts. It's really convenient that we save you a lot of money.
Now, over the next 30 minutes, we're going to have a unique opportunity to go on some job sites with Joe and the crew, and we're going to actually visit with you a little bit here in the showroom, Carol, go on a tour on the products. But over the next 30 minutes, if you're thinking about windows, you're thinking about doors, stop thinking and come visit Plowmans. Now, Carol, your showroom hours here in Millville are from when to when?
We are open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 and on Saturdays from 9 to 1.
And is there a website if someone would like to visit to learn more about Plowmans?
Oh, absolutely. Plowmanswindows.com.
And a phone number?
856-327-2841.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm excited to go on and visit some of the job sites and learn what makes Plowmans Windows and Doors what it is, and that's really special.
All right, how you doing? I'm Joe Plowman from Plowmans Windows and Doors, 118 East Vine Street in Millville. And what you're seeing today is a typical wood window. You got 2 sashes that move. This is a 6/6 grid. And we're getting ready to remove this window. We do all our removal of our windows from the exterior. We're going to remove the storm stop. We're going to take these sashes and push them out. And after that, they're going to put a seal on the bottom of this thing, which is the process you're about to watch right now. Okay, now what you're seeing here, he's removing the stop trim which held in the storm windows on this. He's going to take all 3 pieces off. That allows them to remove the window from the exterior. As you're watching that, if you notice down the side, they've already cut into the siding here. They made this cut all the way down so that the metal will go all the way back into the siding, and then it gets back sealed back under again. So you can see the groove in that. Now he's going to pull the sashes out with the jam liner. That's a parting bead that's in the top between the 2 windows. Now you see how the window came out all together? Basically now what they're going to do is going to clean this up a little bit more. We're going to put a sill cap on the bottom of this, and then we're ready to watch the window go in. Okay, what you're looking at here is a typical sill that we've capped. This is how we bend the metal. You can see the returns that come up on this. A lot of guys don't include these uprights or this piece coming back. So you're going to watch Wes put this thing on the window, and it covers really nice. Also notice that it's going in past the siding on the sides. Now when this thing sits here, we don't touch it all the way into the inside stool. We keep this thing a little bit away. That way we don't have any metal contact coming in where the crack of this piece sits on here. When we do storm windows and we cap without putting replacements, we lift the window up and it comes all the way in. It's a difference of the 2 installations of these. That way we don't get no condensation sweat. It's now ready for him to process out for the window. What you're seeing now is what we call the dry fit. They're going to put it in, they're going to check it. They're going to check it for level. After that, they're going to adjust this window up with 2 small shims under it. Once the shims are under it, it allows the center of the window to float, and then to be screwed into place.
Good.
You're seeing where the installation screws go in the windows right now. There's 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. We do not use the screws that come with the windows. We use a little bit longer screw for better grab on the window. Okay, at this point he's got the 4 screws in the window. And what he's done is he squared the window up and leveled it within itself, and you can see the crack line on the top sash. When we open up, that's what we want to see, and then we want to see the same on the bottom, which he's already checked. So now at this point, they're going to proceed to finish insulating out the window, which is up to George here now. We use loose fill insulation around all these windows. We don't use any spray foams on them. When they get this done, they will actually seal over top of that with a siliconized caulk on all 3 sides. The other thing we do that's different than a lot of companies is we actually seal these screw holes closed on each side of the window and the tops and the side adjusters. All these windows have stops on them. What you see them moving right now, a lot of people remove those stops. They're there to prevent the sash from going too high or too low. He's sealing the side adjuster holes now. Every job we do, it's the same thing. It's the same process. And now what you're watching, he's using a siliconized caulk and he's sealing the cracks closed over top the insulation we're already put in the window. This is going to be in preparation from add a board back around this window again. So this is one of 3 seals that goes to this window, one that you will not see, the other 2 that you will see, and of course the final will be against the siding, which that's just a cosmetic thing. These are homemade stops. We cut them down ourselves. Just gives our place for the cap to go on this thing. It makes a nice smoother fit on the capping. 3 pieces that ought to go on the window. 1 top, 2 sides. After he's done with this process, the next part of the thing they'll do is they'll come up and measure for the caps for the side and the top, and then they'll apply them to the window. Last thing they put on is the sill angle on the bottom. Okay, I'm here with Matt, and he's about ready to put the side capping on this window. You can see we do a full return. You got the face, and this is going to return back to the window. The very unique thing is when you get to the top, how we've bend this over. So when the headpiece comes under, it's under it. All this is basically covered quite well. You're going to watch him install that on the window. This one's already been installed. It's not finished, though. He's actually returning that in between the old wood frame and the siding itself is what's taken so long to get that on there. Once it's looking good, he's going to put a couple screws in from the side. We never face nail any of our products. Anything we cap in wood on the outside, this type of window is capped exactly the same over and over and over again. There's nothing changing in how we cap or seal them. The header piece is just an L shape. He's got to put it up where he's got to mark there where the 2 ends are going to go back to the window. He'll actually make a notch in there and remove the end pieces. You notice the piece is a little long. We don't try to make anything the same measurement until it's up there. Windows can change by about 1/8 of an inch on an average. Matt's been doing this with us about 15 years now. The first cut was for length. The second cut is for the folds for the sides of the windows. And you'll notice he's leaving some. And what they do is they fold that in to give you a nice seam at the top on both sides. Once he gets it up here, he may have to trim again one more time. But it's the process. This is how you do all the windows. That handbrake's older than Matt by the looks of it. The head pieces are installed with 2 nails. The nails are always approximately in the same spot. Okay, now the last part of this window is this sill piece here before they actually do any sealing. And what they actually have to do with this thing is they put it upside down and they get a mark where the groove is. So this is trimmed. We go to a lot of jobs, we see people force this thing under there just like this, and then what happens, it picks up on the whole window and makes a mess. So he's actually got to test cut this once, and then he'll put it up there and check it, then it gets cut and put on it for the last time. You're supposed to trim them down. It's normal process to the window. As you're watching him cut that, you can see why most people don't want to cut them. It's actually no fun to trim at all. After he makes that cutting, they have to make another one. Now he's going to do a dry fit. You got a couple high spots on the window where the 45s are welded together. So they take and they remove them off of them. That way the piece lays a little flatter. A lot of times we actually have to take and trim back on the inside piece too. Again, a lot of people, they don't do this and the pieces don't quite go on the way they're supposed to go. He's going to take a little bit off each side now. And again, this is what everybody skips, is removing that little piece out of there. What he's going to do now, he's going to actually put a seal into that groove where this piece goes. This is something a lot of companies don't do also on this thing. This is something we chose to do. There's no real right or wrong way to put these windows in according to any type of code at this time. But this is our preference, and when you see it done, you can see why we do it.
Carol, we're inside the display area here for windows. What are we looking at here?
Well, Greg, this is a vinyl, either replacement or new construction window. It does come both. Features double pane insulated glass, fully welded corners on the sash and the frame, and naturally it does tilt in for easy cleaning and maintenance. This does happen to be one of our top of the line windows, and it does have that full warranty that we spoke about, including the double pane insulated glass being warranted against glass breakage.
All right, here we are today on a entry door system. This house happens to be block and wood structure. Normally what we do with these houses, we remove the old door, and you'll see them removing the door here. Then we take the new door and we dry fit the door into this opening. This is my son Wes and Phil working on this house. All right, right now what they got is they got everything out of the opening. They're ready to dry fit the mainframe. We always dry fit once to make sure everything fits proper. And you see they're pulling the door into the opening. Once he dry fits this door, they'll put a very healthy bead of silicone under the door, and sometimes we use a contact adhesive around them. They'll also back seal all the brick mold into the opening. He's checking out to make sure that the door is level in the opening. They do all corrections before they actually do the sealing in the bottom of the door. They also check the door that it can be leveled within that block wall. That's very important that you can level after you put the door frame in. They're going to remove the frame now. He's going to apply a nice healthy bead of silicone down to the bottom. After that, the door frame will be mounted into the opening and squared. You obviously see there was a shim on one side. He had to remove the shim. He's going to put a seal under the shim, and he's going to reseal over top of that shim. This is a concrete opening that you're looking at on the floor. That's not silicone he's using. That's actually a contact adhesive. Now he's checking the depth of the threshold. He's going to run a silicone bead across the front. So the door is going to sit on top, and it's like a gasket. When you put a gasket together on a car, it'll start to shoot out the front of the door. It stops any water from coming back in.
Then we always seal the brick molding to the door.
Now you can see he's got the door. He's going to apply a nice bead of silicone on the outside. He's running down the back side of the brick molding. Again, so when the door hits the back of the framing there, that silicone will ooze out so you don't have any air leaks around the main frame of the door. Now they're setting the door. They're actually wiggling that frame back and forth with his feet so that it removes all the air pockets from under the door frame. Comes the recheck with the level.
Still the same.
Now he's centering the door frame within the opening.
Yep. Either one's good.
Most doors get an average of 5 screws up each side and 3 across the top. They always do the 2 bottom ones first, then they do the 2 top. Everything gets filled in from thereafter down the sides.
Good.
He's going to bring the door in, they're going to put it on the pins and check out how it's fitting in the opening.
Got it.
What he's doing now is he's going to close that door so he has a daylight space going down it. Approximately a 1/4 inch. He wants that to be even at the top through the bottom. This is one of the most important spaces on this door. Everything else is show contact. If this door is larger at the top or larger at the bottom in its closing position, it's no good. So they got to get that within 1/8 of an inch. He's loosening up the hinge screw on one side of that door to correct that space.
Joined by Carol Plowman here at the showroom at Plowman's Windows and Doors at 118 East Vine Street here in Millville. And Carol, 40 years, is that right?
Yes, 40 years.
And Plowman's Windows and Doors is really known for a whole bunch of things, but one of the things that really stands out is your showroom here. And you have it set up in such a way that people can really come and get a really good understanding of the product and actually see what it's going to look like in their home.
Yes, I think coming here and having a hands-on is much better than going to the home, bringing a small pop-up sample, and they don't really get a good feel for what the product is like. Here they're going to see and operate full-size displays in both window and door products.
Speaking of windows, let's get right into the windows. Talk about windows for us here at Plowman's.
Well, we have a variety of replacement and new construction windows, of course, in all different varieties of double hungs, sliders, casements, bays and bows, and a lot of them you will be able to see on display. We have a bay window right here behind Greg. We do have a bow window that we also have on display.
And your warranties that come along with your windows are fantastic, along with the manufacturers.
Yes, almost every manufacturer that we have offers a full lifetime warranty. That is on all the pieces and parts, operating mechanisms, the glass against condensation, and we even have a manufacturer that warrants the glass against glass breakage. So if it accidentally gets broken by a stone from a lawnmower or weed whacker, or yes, Greg, a child playing ball, then they will give you a new piece of insulated glass as long as you live in that home. So that's a great feature to have, a little peace of mind.
How you doing? I'm Joe Plowman, Plowman's Windows and Doors, 118 East Vine Street, Millville, New Jersey. I'm going to take you on over here and show what we're working on today. Okay, we got you out here on one of our jobs today. This is where we're going to be taking down the shutters, the siding, and pulling this window, and we're reinstalling new construction. And we wanted you to see how we do this. This is type of work's only done to these type of homes where they're newer homes, where the windows are put in like this and there's no main frame to the window. Okay, we're down here on this job here where we're going to be removing the siding and removing the window. Typically what these guys do is they actually, well, I'm sticking this putty knife in, they don't take anything down. It's called pocket sleeving. They'll sit here and they'll cut this window right out of this track, pull the window out, and then they put a replacement window in. As far as I'm concerned, this is not the way you should be doing this. And in a minute, you're going to be able to see them taking the siding down on the walls. When they take it down, they will mark and they will letter every piece as it comes down. It has to go back in the same spot. Okay, as you can see, they're removing the siding off the house right now. You actually notice they're marking every panel that they take off. Every panel has to go back. This is the process on how you're supposed to be doing these houses, as far as my opinion is, when you're taking out a new construction window. We will be putting back a new construction window, which you'll see further down the show here. Okay, we're here and you can see we pulled down all the siding. It's a little hard to see, but they marked all the rows. They also came off the window 8 inches or on each of the sides so that when they put the new window, they can balance it back. This window's already been unnailed, so now you're just going to watch them remove the window from this opening. Now, as they're removing that window, you can see there's a little bit of insulation around it. That's basically what's good. And the window had no back seal, but this house is several years old, so most of the time they weren't back sealing back then. When we actually installed the new windows, we'll actually back seal behind the frame before we put it in. Okay, you can see now we're actually insulating the extension jamb of this window. When these houses are built, sometimes these guys do their own extension jambs, and not everybody insulates them, but it's a good idea if you can to insulate them. And you can see Matt's insulating around the window now. George is preparing the tape at the bottom, and once that's all done, they'll be ready to try to fit that window in there.
Hi, this is Matt from Plowmans Windows and Doors, and what we're doing here is we're cutting back the extension jamb in order to fit our window, because our window goes in a little bit deeper than the old one did.
Okay, we're now getting ready for the next phase of this window, which you're actually watching George put a bead of silicone around this window. And the idea behind that is when the window gets pushed against it, the nail flange is going to squash that. So it's going to be like doing a gasket on a car, a valve cover gasket. So you're not going to get air between that. And already on this one window, he went through a whole tube. It's common on most of these windows use a tube and a half on them. Twins use even more. This is going to make a real nice tight seal when this window's up there.
Thank you.
Wait till I'm in there.
All right, you're watching them install the window now. This is going to be the first fit on it. Sometimes they got to do a second try on this. It's already got the silicone on it, so there is no second try. He's pushing the insulation back in from the inside as the window's going in. Okay, the window's pushed all the way in now at this time. So what they're doing now is they're going to center it back up between the pencil marks they did on the outside to make sure that the window's back exactly where the other one was. After that, they'll start applying screws or nails to the window. That's usually a choice, whatever people decide. We like to put screws in our windows rather than nails. And before they took the old windows out, they put marks around the window frame to show where it was. That's what they're balancing back up with, is so that that window winds up back centered exactly where the other window was. First screw went in, and he's rechecking to make sure the window's sitting in the proper spot. So they've done two at the bottom. Now they're working to the top. It's the four corners. Now they're doing the centers of the whole window frame. Besides leveling that window, they're checking the crack line. They want to make sure when they open that sash up, they have a straight line of daylight coming out of the bottom and a straight line at the top. Once that's done, they're going to do a center screw at the top, then they're going to do a center screw at the bottom, and after that, they're basically free to fill every hole, and every hole will have a nail or screw put in it. Now, they had to make a slight adjustment in the window. That's why they removed the screws out. That's why we use screws instead of nails. On the right-hand side of the window out here, you watch George is filling in all the screws now, all the way down. A lot of guys will put 4 screws in the window. Some guys will put 6 in the window. The manufacturer wants a hole in every screw hole that they have on that frame or nail hole. Everyone's got to have something in it.
Good.
You're checking the top between the inside out. He's sighting the top, and George is going to put the center screw in. Doing the same thing on the bottom. Center bottom screw. Now they'll finish off screwing it in, and then the next phase will be the tape on it. Okay, now you see they're applying the window wrap tape around the window again. This is our second window on the front of this house we're doing this to. And again, this is to make a real good bond between the window and the wall, because we don't get no air or water through there. It's something they didn't do years ago. This is something we probably do in the past 8 years now. That goes on all 4 sides of the windows. And you can always see the bottom pieces on first. Then after that, the window's put in, the side pieces go on. Last piece goes on is across the top. Okay, you see right now he's finishing heating up the window wrap tape. You can see it's on all 4 sides. He's got it up on the top, so the first piece goes on, which you see right there. The window goes over top of that. After the window's all done, sealed in, and fastened back, they put the 2 sides up Then the last piece goes across the top. Every piece is overlapping the other piece in case water goes behind something that doesn't get in around the window frame. Okay, now you can see the windows are in. The window wrap tapes around both windows. Now we're putting the siding back. And as he puts the siding back in place, every piece has been marked on the wall. He's also got a mark on the wall and a mark on a piece of siding where the siding was originally placed at, exactly where it was placed. So now he'll just proceed to nail that panel into place. And it's really important that when they do this, that everything goes back where it came from. There's no buying more siding, there's no anything else. That's why a lot of people don't like to do this.
Joe and Carol, we want to thank you both for taking time with us. It's been great to see what Plowmans Windows and Doors is all about. Joe, final few seconds. If someone is thinking about windows and doors, why would they owe it to themselves to give you a shot here at Plowmans?
Well, because we're family owned and operated. All our installers are trained. We follow the same system of installation on every house. Doesn't matter how big the house is, how small. And we only use a certain quality of windows today.
Carol, one thing that I've learned over the years by knowing Plowmans Windows and Doors and dealing with them not only as a spokesperson but as a customer, is you guys really care about your customers.
Oh, yes, customer service is very important to us. Kind of our motto is customers first, service second to none.
If someone is not familiar with Millville, but they'd like to take the time to come down and visit the showroom to learn about products and to get an idea of what it would take to do some work at their home, what's the best number to reach you at, and what are the showroom hours?
The phone number is 856-327-2841, and the showroom hours are Monday through Friday, and that's 8 to 5, and Saturdays 9 to 1.
And website once again, Carol?
It is plowmanswindows.com.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking about windows and doors, don't just trust it to anybody. Trust it to an organization that really cares about you. 40 years, being in business for over 40 years, that says quite a bit. It's Plowmans Windows and Doors at 118 East Vine Street, right here in the heart of Millville.